Paul, I think you've talked a lot about the boards and their role. From a credit union perspective, given these axioms, what do you think is the most important thing for them to do in this world of AI?
Well, I think I'm going to build on what George said, and I love the framework, and I'm glad we're going to link the article because there's a lot of practical advice in the article. But I'll start by just, one of the ways we think about the board is the conscience of the credit union in a way, right? They're the shepherds of the mission of the credit union and the purpose of the credit union. And so they do play an important role when you're thinking about how are we going to adopt AI? Where are we going to take it? The framework is a wonderful sort of way to dive in and start to understand what's going on with AI. And really, the axioms, they demonstrate how AI is a different paradigm from other innovations that are out there, right? There's a lot of uncertainty on the regulatory stuff. We're going to have to figure this out on our own. The oversight axiom, for instance, states that only AI can effectively monitor AI, right? That's a different paradigm. That's a different way of thinking if we're talking about compliance. How are we going to be compliant in AI? Well, we're going to use AI to be compliant on AI. The learning axiom says AI is always changing and evolving, right? These systems are learning and growing and developing all the time. Again, that's a different paradigm. It's not like we're going to set a compliance for a particular process and have oversight and we're done because the thing that's being monitored is changing. It's growing and evolving. And so maybe the monitoring is going to have to keep up with it as well. So there is a different paradigm here. And the framework really helps boards and senior leadership understand, okay, what kind of creature are we trying to manage here and oversee? So the last thing I'll say about the boards, of course, I think they are the conscience, but they have a dual role, right? One of their jobs is to ensure the safety and soundness of the credit union. So they're the guardians, they're the protectors, right? They have to protect the castle. So they're going to set the risk appetite. They're going to make sure that compliance and regulations are being met and everything is safe and secure. They also need to be the stewards of the future of the credit union. They need to venture out and take risks. Credit unions are risk-taking organizations by their very nature. The board has to help the credit union understand which risks they're going to take, how much of that risk they're going to take, where the guardrails are going to play a role. And so George's article gives you sort of a way to start to conceptualize where the playing field is, and then the board can start to have a conversation with leadership on, okay, where are we going to play in this field that keeps constantly changing?